5 minutes to read through the lesson.
Okay.
Just like get a lay of the land.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, the interim will also give kids the focus statement.
Oh, really? Like on Monday?
Correct.
Oh.
So they will just write proof paragraphs.
Okay. Okay.
The idea here is like we're trying to do aligned.
Okay.
Interesting. Ooh. Oh boy. You want to talk about it?
Yes.
All right. Do you want to talk about like what you just are noticing with the lay of the land of this lesson? Great.
Did you want to record? Oh, okay. Okay, so we're talking about the legacy of Walter Myers. Like, why was he important? You know, what did he do? So they can write a subtitle on their text. So thinking about like what he was committed to, what was like the big ideas about him. I think that's the first half of the lesson. Yes,
Yeah.
this next part is going to be the Freyer
Interesting.
model. That's going to be interesting, I think. Yes.
What do you understand about what has to happen in the writing portion of the lesson?
For the
Just like big picture.
For the first part, or like the whole thing?
For the second part of the lesson, the writing part of the lesson, the write. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this part.
Yeah, talk me through like the steps that Arts and Letters wants us to take to get kids to understand great-heartedness.
Well, they're like looking at the prompt first.
Great.
And, like, we're connecting it back to like what that word means.
Yeah.
And like what do they want to admire.
I think that's what you just said is really important, that like the purpose of everything that comes after is for kids to understand the prompt.
Yes.
I think that like holding that in your brain and bringing it back, everything else that happens back to that is going to make this practice the most transferable.
Yeah.
Because then what do we do?
Because then they have to write like the definitions and like the characteristics of these 3 words: courageous, generous, and empathetic.
Yeah, they're essentially doing like a really
So they
robust
can-
vocab exploration.
So they can bring it back to the prompt.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. Let's go back to the beginning of the lesson on that first page. Let's do our first page internalization. I want us to read through that first page, the preview, the learning targets, annotate for what kind of lesson this is. So what is the purpose of this lesson? How does that purpose live in today's lesson activities? And then where does this lesson come from? What knowledge is it building off of? And then where does it go? Why does this lesson matter in the grand scheme of things?
Okay.
Cool. Let's do 5 minutes here.
What else is it? What's the question again?
What's the purpose of the lesson based off the lesson type? What knowledge does this lesson build off on? AKA, like, where did it come from?
Yeah.
And then where are we going with this lesson?
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that. And that's where it's gonna be. Oh Lord.
But that's a spam today. All right. There it is. What's the purpose of this lesson?
Students are understanding Walter Meyer's legacy. It's building from like today, which was we like looked to learn understanding what the text is about, like what did he do, why did he do this,
And how do we do that?
by summarizing.
Yep.
So then, like looking ahead, like this lesson helps them prepare for module task 3 by like understanding what the prompt is asking us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I also think, like, grand scheme of things, like, to bring it back to, like, module internalization, and actually you saw this, you called me and saw this. This lesson is setting us up to build background knowledge of Walter T. Myers, to
Love
understand
That
the
Dog.
impact of it in Love That Dog. Exactly. So while, like, we are going into a no lesson tomorrow, like in lesson 25, ultimately, this whole stretch has been about building that background knowledge so that Walter Dean Myers part of Love That Dog
Yeah, like
hits.
when it comes to the school and everything like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Cool. All right, let's move into the first learning target.
Okay.
I did write my exemplar for this first learning target already.
Okay.
I thought it was hard to do without doing or at least looking at the worksheet that kids have to do. So let's spend the next 3 to 5 minutes doing the exemplar. Know that you should go use the beginning of this lesson to help you out. Look at those exemplar responses.
They're writing at the bottom of here, right?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
It's interesting because the directions say...
I got the lines at the bottom and everything.
Yeah, and I don't see lines in the bottom there.
Yeah.
But what I do know is, right, kids here at the top will... first, they create these categories. And the categories are based on...
remembered and committed.
Cause or groups, yeah, that he supported.
Oh, yes. Those are not 4 columns. Like, am
I think there's a backside to this
Okay.
worksheet that is not
That makes
pictured
sense.
currently. I was
I'm
like,
wait, what? Okay. That's these over here. Okay. Okay. Make sure I'm like doing this right. Like, in my
yeah,
mind,
if you
I'm
want to talk
thinking,
through it,
like,
yeah.
Like Walter D. Myers was an influential person to young adults around the country.
I
Like
think
that kind of thing.
bringing it back to, so first we're going to say, okay, team, we're going to be talking about Walter D. Myers' legacy. His legacy had impact on different groups of people. What were different groups of people that he had, or organizations that he had an impact on? So first we brainstormed this list here on step 7.
Yeah, so young adult,
And so we narrow it down. Okay, young adult,
New York City teens.
yep. Difference around the country. Oh, it's kind of a stretch, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
I mean, like schools.
Yeah,
in the
I could
country,
argue, schools around the country
yeah.
or kids around the country, and then libraries and librarians. So those are our categories. We've labeled our 4 columns.
Now,
we need-
go find what, like, more to that.
yes, go find your evidence.
Yeah.
Add it to the boxes. So then, in my head, the caption. Maybe there is something, because it does say, like, students may use drawings, words, or phrases to complete this. Like, is there something about pushing? I think the more rigorous is to have them write evidence.
Yeah. It's like, because, yeah, it's like he wrote 100 books.
Uh-huh.
He wrote all kinds of stories. Like, he wanted teens to have a voice. Like, I think they could do that.
I think so.
Yes.
I think they can
'Cause
find this
because
evidence.
Today, they already kind of did this.
Exactly. I think finding this evidence is going to be very easy.
Yeah, I think it's putting it together and saying, like, why is this, like, why does it matter?
I think that's the
Like,
question
why does it matter?
for the caption.
So that's kind of, which is funny, because that was on my CFS for today's summary.
Nice.
It's like, at the end, it's like, why does it matter?
Why
Add
does
a
this
so
matter?
what.
Yes. Yeah. Because then the captions that I wrote, I tried to give, like, what would the newspaper headline be?
Yeah.
Like, what tweet?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that so relevant? What hashtag could we put on this box to summarize the impact, why Walter Dean Myers did these things? Specifically for, and we go category by category, libraries.
For them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So maybe he'd be like a, yeah, okay.
So based off that, based off what we now understand about how the lesson gets us to this caption activity,
Yeah.
what would 4 captions sound like for each category?
Okay.
1 for each category. Yeah.
Okay.
Good thinking, though.
Well, like, you don't want to get, like, into detail, because, like, that's already going to be, that's, like, part of the,
Exactly.
Yeah, so, like, maybe,
it
like, the
is
first
the
one-
like so what
Yeah.
aspect of this.
so, like, Walter Dean Myers had an impact on young adult literature?
I said encouraging young readers.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
hard. No,
I'm not
no.
saying it's exemplar, but I'm like,
Yeah.
again, if I was to put it in a hashtag.
Oh, because they want to use those words too. They encourage the.
Oh, really? Okay, I might have done that on
I
accident.
think so. Or that's the next part of the lesson.
That's the next part of the lesson.
okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Walter Dean Myers. Okay. Encourage.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna still down for you. Okay.
That's please do. You're totally fine.
Writing about New York City.
The scaffolding question in the analyze student progress is, does the subtitle demonstrate understanding of legacy? So, writing about New York City teens.
Yeah.
What?
He gave them a voice. So Walter D. Myers gave a voice to New York City teens.
Fabulous.
Okay.
I said true stories, real teens. Again, I was really leaning into the
They're like short
headline.
words.
Yeah.
A voice to teens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Providing an alternate title. That's what it says in the instructions. A subtitle is a phrase that is sometimes used by a writer as a way of explaining a title or providing an alternate title. I was like, there's a reason I did that.
So then she might not be as detailed then?
I think as long as you know what you would accept, like if you're setting the bar here,
Yeah.
know what you would also accept here.
Okay. Okay. It's gonna be hard.
So let's think about this making a difference around the country. What did he do? Why did it matter?
Yeah. He visited schools because he wanted to hear teen stories.
Yeah.
So it's just like, could it just be that?
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yes, I think we're
Are we
overthinking
too?
it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Traveling to schools and libraries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a funny one for the last one. I don't know if you'll get the reference.
Oh, that's good. Why libraries matter.
Yes.
Why libraries matter.
I said support your local library.
Yeah, why do libraries matter?
Have you seen that? I keep getting advertised a shirt on Instagram, KS Moss Punk della Biblioteca Pubblica, and I was like, I want that, but I think I can make it on Cricket. So,
What does that mean?
what is
Just-
more punk than the public library?
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, yeah. What is more punk than the public library? Not much.
Yeah. No, for real. Okay. So, like,
Alright.
yeah, the big thing is, like, they just have to get, like, yeah, okay.
You have your category. You found evidence.
What would you title this?
What would you title this? I think that's. I think that's
maybe I
right.
can even model it with the first one,
Possibly. Yeah.
if it's, like, getting crazy.
If I think keep that in your back pocket.
And
Yeah.
Then stop.
Let
and
them
like,
try.
And then, yeah, okay.
Because before you model, what CFS could we give kids so that they could be successful?
Reread your evidence. Like, maybe think, what was this whole, like what is this all about? Okay.
Provide an alternate title.
And provide.
Now I think those steps are right. Write them
Okay.
down.
Okay.
Those are directions,
Yes,
not
I know,
CFS.
I always do that.
It's okay.
So maybe, like, provide an alternate title to each section by using.
I think right like one subtitle per box.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I always do this.
It's okay. We're working on CFS. This is what
Yes.
we're working on. So, okay, yeah, let's do CFS, and then we'll come back to the direction because your directions are right. Like
Yes.
those are thinking steps. Those thinking steps are right.
One subtitle per box.
What does the subtitle have to do?
It has to be aligned with what?
Match the evidence and heading. I called it a heading. I don't know if we want to call it a heading.
I'm a mess. I know, I'm gonna use this.
And then in order for it to be correct, outside of matching the evidence and heading, what is the purpose of the subtitle?
It's to create a new title, or so kids like get the understanding of like what each of these things mean.
Look at the direction in introduce the learning task. Read that last sentence.
It explains his legacy.
Explains his legacy. And I put that, like I used the definition of legacy from earlier in the lesson, explains the lasting impact. Walter Dean Myers.
So the
had
subtitle has to also explain his impact.
Yeah.
So one subtitle per box matches the evidence in heading. Oops. And then subtitle explains impact or legacy.
So this is what you also were working on based off our work sort from last week.
Mm-hmm.
What thinking steps are you going to give kids so that they are able to check these boxes off successfully?
So that would be like the direction.
Yes.
Okay. So that'd be like reread
Yes.
your
Evidence.
Mm-hmm. And then think like what was this whole section about, or like column. And then write a subtitle that explains his legacy.
Perfect. I'm stealing that because I think it's actually really good. It's just super clear around like, if you can't do this, what steps can you take?
Yes. Like put that on the slide and on the worksheet. Like,
Yes.
Like
Yes.
That, yeah.
Exactly.
And then if like I go around like, okay, what's the first step? Read through.
Exactly. Because then these
Your
steps are the
your
steps that you
questions.
model if kids are
Yes.
stuck.
Yeah.
Think about what. Great. Fantastic. My hope is that they are like, yeah, I can summarize this. And that they're like, they don't even need the thinking steps. That they feel confident enough that they don't need the thinking steps. They're just like, yeah, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how successful they are. Because similarly today, I had low expectations about our success rate. And they blew me out of the water.
Yeah.
So I like had a back pocket model. I didn't end up using it.
Yeah.
Don't use it if you don't need to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay.
We kind of already looked at this, so this next step should move kind of fast. Let's look at the steps that lead up to this and annotate for like the exact questions and interactions that we want kids to have prior to this practice. Because this is a lesson where you have to know the steps in order to write this exemplar.
Yeah. The one they need to know what legacy means.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a really important thing.
I've noticed in these lessons, because it happened today, direct attention to the example in the 7th paragraph. I had them do it solo. Can you infer what the term means? And then they shared out. And I thought it was great. Because then I showed them the definition of legacy.
Yeah, and that also like is helping them build that like, okay, how do I find out those words?
Exactly. Using context clues. Exactly. No, you're fine.
Hello. They should be in music. They're in music. Yes. Okay. Bye.
Cool.
Yeah, I think all these questions are just like leading up to it. But that's gonna help them.
Ooh, this one looks like it's a hands question, which is not a turn and talk, which is interesting.
Hands question?
So I've noticed that when it's one bubble, it's like just share out. When it's two bubbles next to each other, it's turn and talk.
Oh.
Or think,
did
pair,
not
share.
notice that.
I
I just
know.
wanted to do turn and talks.
And I think this is a question that is worthy of doing a turn and talk
Yeah.
for. So because there's so many ideas that kids can come out with. So use your discretion.
Would it be beneficial to like write these on the board?
Write these key ideas. This is,
Okay.
or anchor chart paper.
Yeah, just like as they call out, like turn and talk. Okay, call out. What is he remembered for? Okay.
Because why
Because
do
they're
you
gonna
say
need
that?
for the
Yeah.
next part.
Yep.
And they're not gonna remember it.
Yep. Yep. I think this is also one where like having your exemplar out and in front of you is going to be important, so you know the four things you're always going after. I'm sure after the first class you're going to be like, okay, I get it. It's YA literature, NYC teens, difference around the country, libraries and librarians.
Yeah.
Jeez, there's just a lot of vocabulary in this lesson, huh?
know.
I do think between step 5 and 7, there's the language I keep seeing coming up is like Walter Dean Myers has a commitment to many causes and groups. Identify one cause or group to the top of each of our columns. Like that's the language I'd be pushing in order to direct them to this idea of YA literature, New York. What cause or group? What cause or group? Can you think of another cause or group?
Okay.
You're fine. Hi. Good. How are you? I am recording, just a heads up, but don't be sorry at all. Talk me through your vision for steps 1 and 2.
I'm thinking I'm gonna remake this chart they have on paper, so they don't have to like flip it back and forth. So that, and I think once we identify, if we identify these causes, I think with their partner they should be able to do that. I think it should be pretty easy, especially because of today.
So step 1 says reread
And annotate.
And Step 2 says then add evidence.
But I'm thinking like they've already kind of annotated in their book. I think it gets confusing. So I feel like it's just going back and like find the evidence.
I think that's fine. I think make sure that there's no fake reading.
Yes.
I think it's right to tell them to hunt, not fish. Right? You're looking specifically for this.
These things.
When you see it, add it. But if that starts to feel fuzzy, you know, I'm going to post-it notes because I would also say you get 2 post-it notes today. We're first going to annotate for how he showed his support of young adult literature. Put your post-it note when you find the detail. Great, now add it to your graphic organizer.
Okay.
You with me?
Yes.
Don't have to. We want kids to build a habit of using the text, not using their memory. That's what I fear. We're going to turn our fears into hopes. I fear kids trying to use their memory from today's lesson because it's going so well.
Yeah.
I hope kids will go back to the text if they are like, I have half the idea, but I don't have the full idea. So I think that's where to caution.
I'm not seeing them looking at the text and stop them and be like, hey, let's...
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. That's it. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Because if they're being stubborn and not going back to the text, that's where I would say pencils down. You are just rereading and looking for when you have it, you can put a thumbs up on your table.
Okay.
Cool. What questions do we have going into learning target 1?
None.
Yeah, you've already
Yeah.
scripted the
I think
directions.
this is,
You have a clear CFS. We've got our exemplar.
yeah.
Cool. Let's move on to learning target 2.
Yes. It's gonna be a hard one.
All right. On 264, let's write our own exemplar. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. When I wrote my own exemplar, I was like, I think I'm getting in my head. Don't get in your own head.
Okay.
Okay.
before I write it down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like when someone is courageous, generous, empathetic, they have a great heart because they are being. Oh, that's it. Just one sentence. Okay, that's all it needs to be.
That's what I have.
Okay.
Because how would you add on to that sentence without repeating yourself?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You can't.
Uh-uh.
You just be like, you just go into what each thing means.
Brave, giving, and caring.
Yeah.
And right, like arguably, I have great-heartedness embodies courage, generosity, and empathy. That's one sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who is great-hearted is brave, giving, and caring.
Mm.
When I look at the analyze student progress,
Mm-hmm.
do students clearly connect understanding of courageous, generous, and empathetic to a deeper meaning of great-hearted?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I look at the immediate support, review the knowledge cards and completed Freire models, I think to myself, so I would go back and I would review the definition of these words, and I would make sure it connects to great-heartedness. Like, I don't think it's rocket science here.
Yeah.
I think the point is that
they understand what these things mean. And what great-hearted means.
Great-hearted means
When someone is courageous, empathetic.
somebody who has these characteristics.
Okay.
Because then, right, to like cheat a little further, in step 11, invite a few students to share their responses. When I look at the arts and letter exemplars, they're not rocket science.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think this could be answered in a sentence. You could push for two, but if kids are repeating them or spinning their wheels, don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now that we have our shared exemplar, what would make a kid's answer correct? What's the CFS?
Shows understanding of what great-hearted means
By,
by using the words courageous, generous, empathetic.
I think, connecting to, positive
Okay,
qualities,
so connecting to,
characteristics, and use whatever term you want.
or the when I say they connect
You
to
could
the vocab.
connect to vocab.
Okay.
I think they have to use great-hearted in their response.
Yeah. Yes.
The point of this is practicing for the Module 2 task and unpacking the prompt. So kids will have unpacked the prompt if they use the word great-hearted in their response, because that's the word from the prompt. And then this one, take it or leave it. I said the qualities are correct, the characteristics are correct, or correctly used. In what I mean by that is, if I use my example of somebody who is great-hearted is brave, giving, and caring, like those match courage, generosity, and empathy. And then, or if I go with my second example, great-heartedness embodies courage, generosity, and empathy, I'm using the correct part of speech for those words: courageous, generous, and empathetic. So
not courage, and generosity, and empathy. Okay.
So I think there is something to be said in this, since this part of the lesson is so heavy on vocabulary exploration. I think there is something to be said about doing explicit instruction of like, our vocab words are courageous, generous, and empathetic. These words also can be used as courage, generosity, empathy. Like, there's something about teaching the part of speech. I don't know. Take it or leave it.
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, they have to use great-hearted in their response. They have to connect great-hearted to those vocab qualities. Yeah, vocabs.
Okay.
Words. Shall we go backwards?
Yeah.
What activities lead up to that?
Writer model.
Whew. Well, first,
Unpacking
yep.
the
Mm-hmm.
prompt. Unpacking the prompt. Unpacking the prompt and then asking what the prompt
Yeah.
And then I think this is important. Number 3 is like explaining that great-hearted is like a figurative.
I think the unpack the prompt is also a great opportunity to do the read habit. You do this really seamlessly. It's like, this is our prompt. Whenever we get a prompt, we want to do the R step and read.
Yeah, like underline important. Work very hard.
And that gets us to what does the prompt
Yeah.
ask you to do.
Now, question
Mm.
for number 4, because it's like asking me what they're having. If they don't get all 3 of these, like, could I also just have like a running list of like what that means, or should I try and not have that?
I think so. What do you think the purpose of asking this question at this point in the lesson is?
So they can do the vocab word, the vocab model.
I think it's
Or
to
can
just
do
activate background, like what you
Okay.
already know.
Okay, it's not anything like crazy.
I think
It's
the
like, yes, all
reason
those things, and great-hearted also means courageous, generous, and empathetic. Okay.
I don't think they even need to get there yet.
Yeah.
I think it's what do you already know about what you think great-hearted means. We're going to be built. The reason that there's no like key points to stamp here is because they're not supposed to get that question right now. It's just what do you already think about this word.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing some vocabulary exploration with these 3 new adjectives that help us understand great-hearted.
Okay.
And so we're not even telling them like great-hearted are these 3 adjectives. We're going to explore these 3 new words to help us better understand this word, this term great-hearted. And then after that, what do?
We do the Freyer model.
Yeah, you're going to introduce the Freyer model. Then what? You've done Freyer models before.
No.
Do you want to go through the Freyer model together?
I mean, like, I understand like what it is. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I don't know how like kids are gonna get there. That's where I'm like thinking like how.
What are you thinking about?
I think they can get the definition,
Mm-hmm.
especially for courageous and generous.
Mm-hmm.
If I push them empathetic.
So why don't you model with empathetic?
Okay. And then have to split the class in between the other 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you think I should model the whole thing? Or...
I think it could be more of like a guided model than an explicit model.
Like, okay, let's put the definition. Put the word here. My word's empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta think, like, what's the definition? What does this mean?
Mm-hmm. And if you don't know, you can go into character. I think that would actually be a good one to like model backwards.
Okay.
I actually am not certain what the definition of empathetic is yet, but I do know that somebody who is empathetic is a good listener, caring, and doesn't judge. I'm going to put that in my characteristics box.
Okay.
Which means that examples of people who are empathetic are my mom, my grandma, my friends. I choose friends that are empathetic. I'm even thinking of like a job of somebody who's a good listener, caring, and doesn't judge. Teacher has doctor, but like a doctor.
Yeah, okay. And then non-example would be like...
just a judgy person, somebody who's a gossip, a know-it-all, maybe even a bully. These are people who are not empathetic.
Okay.
So based on what I just
did, what do you think the word empathetic means?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds easier.
Yeah.
Because also we're knowing that they're going to understand what like great heart means from a little bit, because like figurative great heart.
Definitely.
So, okay.
And again, that's how I would run this.
No, yeah, I like that. Because I don't think they've really done this either in any...
Because if it's a new word and I don't know the definition, I'm trying to find the definition, then I'm thinking about what I know about this word. I'm filling in the respective boxes so that I can then go give myself a definition.
Okay. Okay, I like that.
Based off that, what would you then want kids to replicate for courageous and generous?
First, characteristics. Like, yeah, like what?
I think even like maybe putting like numbers in the boxes. Say, first I want you to think about this box. 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Some quadrants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the lesson plan wants you to jigsaw this. How are you going to have kids swap that information, swapsies that information?
I could just do like this, like this first period do courageous, go behind
Perfect.
and do, and then you can turn around and do it.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great. I will say I do think you should, at the end of this, post the definition so they can check and change the definitions.
Okay.
I think the other information, it doesn't need to be checked and changed. At the end of the day, the definitions need to be right.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. And that gets us to a learning task. Now, understanding what we know about the way the activities lead up to the learning task, is there anything you want to add to frame before launching kids into the learning task? Or connections or context?
Maybe like we just discussed different meanings of what it means to be great-hearted. You're gonna, or is that too?
I think that's too leading. Yeah, too leading. We just discussed these 3 vocabulary terms.
You're gonna use these, or
Let's read our question, our learning target question.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. We just looked at 3 vocab words. Now let's read our question. Now go in, because it adds the
I
question.
think it has it in there.
Yeah.
I think it has it in there. I think, yeah. I think, again, I'm thinking back to what you said at the top of this learning task of the point of this learning task is that kids are able to unpack the prompt. So I think there's a connection here of, keep writing what you're writing and then
Okay.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah, something about.
I think there's a connection here of, we just found the meaning of these 3 words. Now we're going to answer this question. This question helps us better understand the prompt. Like, I think there's a connection there that's worth lifting up for kids so that every time they see a prompt, they're thinking, I'm looking for the most important words. And I'm thinking to myself, what do I already know about these important words? So that's the, like, replicable thinking and framing that I'm thinking of adding here.
Would that so? Would that go after they read the question?
I think so.
Like, this helps us better understand the
Yes. And then I think it goes after step 11 again, in as they're sharing out their responses to stamp, like, remember, what we did today was unpack a vocabulary word in the prompt to help us better understand what we're going to write about this week.
Okay.
Because I think you see that really clearly. Now we need to make kids really see that clearly. Okay, could you run that, like, pretend you're in it? Can you run the framing of that learning task back to me?
Yes. Okay.
Great.
We just looked at 3 new vocab words. Now we're going to read our second learning task. How does it understanding? Whatever. This is going to help us better understand the prompt. Yeah. Or would I have them go into, like, CFS now? Okay.
I'm looking for.
Okay, I'm looking for using the word great-hearted and explaining that you're explaining using your vocab words.
You have.
You have 5 minutes. Go.
Great.
And then share with the partner, and then have them share out, and then stamp. This is helping us better understand the prompt for the rest of this week.
Perfect.
Okay.
Fantastic. Remember, the thing that we're working on collectively, regionally, is using the CFS to give feedback. So I am going to ask for you to make sure that a timer gets set
Okay.
anytime you release to work time. So
Yeah.
this learning task and the first one. And then I want you to name the lap. First, we're going to narrate.
Yeah, I did that today too.
And how'd it go?
It was great.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, the summaries were great in my first class. Like, they were all, like, hitting everything. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. It was like hard. It was hard for me to slow down because I was like, well, I guess I'm coming around to see who and what because you guys
Yeah,
are
you already got
off
the
to the
first one.
races.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think this is a good one to be like, first pencil's moving, then I'm coming around to see who's using great-hearted in their response. And that's an easy underline.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Any other thoughtsies for me?